So I don't normally work out this late in the evenings. It's 7:50 p.m. Normally don't work out this late because it tends to keep me up at night and gets my heart rate up, gets my blood flowing. But it's been a long day, been a long week actually. I've worked I don't know how many days in a row, and you guys are going to get sick of me saying this, but man, you got to put in the time if you're going to start a new business. And today, Monday, let's see, I was there for about 10 hours today straight. Stopped for about 10 or 15 minutes to eat a salad. And came home and ate dinner, let that food settle, and I'm going to the gym. I told Tammy when we started this that one of the most important things was that I had to stay on top of my workouts and my health and my weight loss and keep going to the gym, because that might be the single most important thing to success, is keeping my health up and keeping the endurance up, and not letting stress get the best of me, and not letting how busy I am get the best of me and have me eating fast food and all the junk that crept back into my diet several years ago and caused a lot of problems. So we're off to the gym and try to get this workout in and probably work another couple hours tonight, and hopefully be in bed by maybe midnight or so. But I got a lot done today. A lot done today. Good workout. Actually, the best workout that I've had since COVID. I have been to the gym a few times and struggled. Had a decent workout Saturday and had to cut it short because the gym was closing at 7 o'clock, and I didn't know that. I thought they were open 24/7. Turned out they were only 24/5. But got in there this evening and worked out pretty hard. That was I'm probably going to be sore tomorrow now. That was pretty intense. So feeling good. I think I'm pretty much fully recovered. I've got this weird, like, you've heard about, I've read about people having like rashes and things after COVID, and I've got this like stuff on my shoulders and on the back of my head, the little bumps. It's kind of weird because I was blessed with really good skin and never had problems, even when I was a teenager, with acne or anything like that. And it's just driving me crazy, but it's almost gone. Anyway, had a really productive day today at work. Probably the most productive day since I've been here, which means I've also recovered from the tiredness from the trip down and everything too. That took me several days to get over because of COVID and the energy issue. But today was exceptionally good. I'm probably going to put in another hour and a half tonight and make it about a 14-hour day probably of actual work. But it'll be worth it. Over the weekend, I worked on several things, and yesterday, Sunday, I turned into like an administrative day where I did all my paperwork and accounting and caught up on all that stuff. So that felt good to get that out of the way. I read a book one time called Getting Things Done, and with that, I read another one at the same time called Eat That Frog, and it was about getting the biggest, worst thing done first and letting it take the pressure off of you and relax, because you subconsciously worry about these things that just nag at you, and you hate doing them. For me, the worst thing to deal with is administrative type work and paperwork and things like that. It just drives me crazy. I don't like it, but yeah, you got to do it. And I've met a lot of people that are like me in how they operate, and they think the same way. They hate administrative work and hate having to be tied down just doing paperwork. But so that's kind of like my frog. I had to eat the frog and get it out of the way. And when you every day you tend to like make the worst thing the last thing of the day, and you dread doing it, and you drag it out and everything. And the book was all about getting that done first thing, so that it's not on your mind all day. It's not weighing you down. You're not worried about it, and then your rest of your day becomes productive. And I try to stick to that. It's hard sometimes to change how you think and all that stuff. But over the weekend I started working on some of the things to do with the mobile app. Yes, I think I mentioned that before. I'm going to have a mobile app that is part of my website, and it's the company that does the community software that I'm using does the mobile app for me, but there's a lot of things I have to do with it to, give them the artwork, how I want everything labeled, and I have to set. Well, actually, I have a developer account with Apple, but right now the legal entity is my former company that I have to get them to change because it shows up on the Apple Store as the publisher of the app. So what is the mobile app going to be? It is basically going to be, the online community on your phone. It's going to be for Android and Apple, and it will basically be kind of like having my own little Facebook app where you'll be able to get your notifications and respond and everything without having to go to the website. And that's going to make a big difference for me. And there's a lot of other integrations with that I'll go into later on. But it's funny because the part of the requirement for the Apple App Store is your company has to have a DUNS number, a Dun and Bradstreet number. And Dun and Bradstreet, they're kind of like a credit reporting agency for businesses. They have some credibility, but they also are like they hold you hostage and try to get you to buy things from them too. They're like in my opinion, in a lot of ways, they're like the Better Business Bureau on steroids. The Better Business Bureau has no authority whatsoever. They can do nothing. And what happens, I found this out 10, 12 years ago when we had another online store where we were selling licensed collegiate merchandise. Someone bought a couple shirts. They didn't like the design on the shirt, even though the website clearly stated it was a mock-up design because it was a championship game, and the design would vary slightly and everything. They decided they didn't like them, but they went ahead and worn them, washed them and everything, and then wanted to return them for a refund. And they complained to the Better Business Bureau, and what I found out was that the state attorney general's office, I guess every state does this. They hand those kind of consumer complaints off to the Better Business Bureau, and then they report it on their website. And I actually got in quite a dispute with them over it because when I looked up our site, our company, we had like a C rating or something like that, and we never registered with them before. So they were basically holding us hostage. They said, well, if you register and pay this fee and everything and tell us everything we want to know about your business, then you start out with an A rating. So they were holding me hostage at a C rating because I had never registered with them. So, and then I found out that the Attorney General's office refers those kind of consumer complaints to the Better Business Bureau. They put it on their website. They send you a letter. They try to act as a go-between. They have no authority to do anything. And Dun & Bradstreet does some of the similar things. So now I registered with them just to get. They actually have a setup now that's kind of nice where you just register with them as someone who's going to be an Apple developer, and they do it very quickly and give you a DUNS number, and that's your DUNS number. And then once my business is more established and I want to work on our business credit and history and things, then that number will become part of my profile, and that's when they kind of hold you hostage. They try to sell you all kinds of stuff, and they start calling you and telling you got to buy these employment posters to put up at some ungodly rate when you can. I'm pretty sure you can just get them and print them for free. It's just a pain to deal with those kind of things, but it's part of business, I guess. I've been dealing with it for years, but I got that taken care of. I submitted everything to Apple to get my developer ID legal entity changed. I've got to work on the Google App Store probably tomorrow. What else? I did a bunch of different things. We had already filed and established our LLC in Kentucky, so I filed and got that dissolved today. So what happens is if you remember back when I talked about registering with the IRS to get your EIN, you then register your LLC in the state you're in, or any state you're going to do business in, I think. But then once you're not in that state anymore, or if you're going to close the business, you have to file some paperwork to dissolve it. So basically I had to pay $40 to get them to close it out. Just another way for them to get fees. But also talked to or emailed with the fire marshal's office here in Cape Coral about what I think is a misclassification of my business. They were very nice, very helpful. Everyone so far I've talked to has just been super helpful overall. And I think a lot of that has to do with just the way you handle people and talk to them, because I was straight up with them. I just said, hey, I'm new here. I'm trying to figure this out. Any help you can provide would be greatly appreciated. And I think maybe I didn't provide a good enough description, and I'm waiting to hear back from them. So hopefully that'll clear things up. It may or may not still generate that other permit that I need to pull, but we'll see what happens. But I can't complain because, like I said, they've all been super helpful to me. What else did I work on today? Oh, I worked on something I can't really share with you. Anyway, if I could share that with you, I would at this point. But that was very time consuming. There was one thing I worked on today for probably 4 hours, maybe. Just like one thing in Photoshop for 4 hours today. That was just absolutely exhausting. One thing I did today that was really good was I remembered to get up and walk around every hour or so and to stretch my legs and get the circulation going. I think that's what's been bothering my back lately, is been sitting down too much, and I'm not used to sitting as much as I'm sitting right now. But it is happening, and I got to deal with it. Like I said earlier, I've got to stay with the gym and working out and stay with the diet and the health plan and everything, because I can't do what I'm doing if I don't feel good physically, because when you don't feel good physically, it drags you down mentally. And vice versa. If you don't feel good mentally, it can drag you down physically because you don't feel like doing anything. So keeping those things going are super important. And I think that's, I told Tammy, I said, I think I got to put that before the business even, because if I do that, then ultimately the business will thrive if I'm staying on top of myself to keep it going. So I know I had a group of people sign up the other day to be put in a group to do some testing for me. The testing, it's not really, I guess, testing. What we'll be doing eventually when I get to this point, especially with things like the mobile app, I'll be having people go through and use it and be the first ones to just kind of experience it and make sure it's working okay. They don't have any problems installing it or, miscellaneous errors using it. There could always be a problem between the website and the app communicating or something like that in a certain area. My website is very highly customized. It's got a lot of work done to it, and a lot of features. So, we'll get that going soon. I'll probably only be, 12 or 20, maybe a dozen or two people involved in it. Over 100 people signed up, so don't take it personally if you don't get picked. I'm just going through and looking at what everybody has as far as phones and level of experience and things. I'm going to try to mix together a group of people. So with that, I'm going to get to work and see if I can give you an update tomorrow. If you like my videos and tutorials, go on over to YouTube and go to my channel TroyTube and click the subscribe button. After you do, be sure to click the bell icon next to the subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you'll be notified every time I post a video. And if you haven't already joined my website, go to TroyTube.net and sign up today.